We're in 1 Timothy chapter 6, and we've been slowly going through 6 attributes or virtues that Paul writes to Timothy to pursue these things. There are things to flee from, and he wrote about those, and really the biggie was getting sucked into the idea that what you have and what you can buy is the point, and even more specifically, that the gospel is a means toward financial gain, and that won't work. That doesn't fit with God's actual design. So instead of that, he says, chase down. The point of pursual is to apprehend. Pursue righteousness, godliness, faith, love, endurance, and gentleness. 6 things. And we talked about righteousness, godliness, and faith, and today I want to talk about love. Everybody knows a lot about love. What the world needs now is love, sweet love, right? You got to be an old person to remember the movie, excuse me, and it was a big hit movie, Love Story. And the theme song for that movie was, "Love means you never have to say you're sorry." Now, I'm an old guy, and I don't stay very current with music trends. But my sense is, in the 60s and 70s, and probably into the 80s, lots of the music that was being produced was about love and drugs and sex and rock and roll. I don't hear, well, number one, I don't hear very many hit songs today anyway. I don't, right? But I don't hear a whole ton of songs, new songs about love. That's probably, I'm probably just not hearing the ones that are out there, but I'm not hearing them. Anyway, okay. But love has been the theme. We sing about it. Movies are written about it and then acted out, and then millions and millions of dollars of profit are made on them because we have a soft spot for love stories. We also have a very inaccurate view and understanding of what love is. For the most part, our culture, our world, doesn't really know what love is. We know lots about lust. We know a ton about personal gratification. We know a little bit about unselfish sacrifice, but not much. Because generally, the theme for love in our world is, love makes me feel good. Now, I can't deny it. I won't deny that I feel good when I feel loved. We're wired that way. We're supposed to feel good when we feel loved. But the feeling of love, we have to be very careful with, because that's not the whole in terms of what is the what is love, and well, we don't have to stay in the dark about it. The chapter in the Bible that's been dubbed the love chapter is 1 Corinthians chapter 13, and man, there's a reason why it's dubbed the love chapter. It's because Paul does a masterful job, inspired by the Holy Spirit, so it shouldn't be any surprise, of describing love. I'm going to read the whole chapter. If I speak in the tongues of men and angels, but do not have love, I am only a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. Just noise. If I have the gift of prophecy and can fathom all mysteries and all knowledge, and if I have a faith that can move mountains, but do not have love, I'm nothing. Holy smokes. That's, prophecy. I can fathom mysteries. I have knowledge. I have faith. I mean big faith that can move mountains. Without love, means nothing. If I give all possessions, all I possess to the poor, and give over my body to hardship, that I may boast, but do not have love, I gain nothing. All right, so you get the picture? A lot of these outward things, a lot of these skillful, and a lot of these personal attributes, they don't mean anything. And he's not listed anything bad. He's listed good things. But without love, they don't mean anything. Okay, so now he goes on in verse 4. Love is patient. Holy cow. Let's start with the hard stuff first. Love is patient. Love is kind. If you link patience and kindness, wow, what a tandem. It does not envy. It doesn't boast. It isn't proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. But where there are prophecies, they will cease. Where there are tongues, they will be stilled. Where there is knowledge, it will pass away. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when completeness comes, what is in part disappears. When I was a child, I talked like a child. I thought like a child. I reasoned like a child. When I became a man, I put the ways of childhood behind me. For now we see only a reflection as in a mirror. Then we shall see face to face. Now I know in part. Then I shall know fully, even as I am fully known. And now these three remain: faith, hope, and love. But the greatest of these is love. Now you immediately saw that most of what Paul describes here about love is what it doesn't do and isn't. It took me a while to figure that out, that you have to know what love isn't in order to be able to identify what love is. What isn't? This is what it is not and does not do, okay? It does not envy and it does not boast. And then third, it's not proud. Look around. Look around in the world. And then look into your own heart. Those three things are there in abundance. It does not dishonor others. There's just always going to be this tendency that I want to promote me. I want to look good. And one of the ways I can look good is by others looking bad. So, it's comparative. And if I can dishonor somebody else, well, that elevates me. This is childish. That's what immature people do. And then it's not self-seeking. Our culture, with some rare and significant exceptions, I would say, is built around getting what I want. And this I don't know what to do about in the world. I guess probably just get over it. But I see this at work too. Not only is the primary motivation is getting what I want, but the other thing that leans against that and pushes that is this the whole thing about advertisements that says you don't have all you need. I'm going to share with you what you need this, and if you don't have it, but you get it. You need it. We're nuts. It's not self-seeking. It's not easily angered. Holy cow! I enjoy being around people who don't get angry very much, and people who do get angry all the time over small things. Basically, I try to avoid them, and I don't think that's necessarily a wrong thing. But then I have to look in the mirror and realize, man, I get angry more than I want to. I think this whole self-seeking aspect connects really directly to my anger buttons. See, if I don't get what I want, I get mad. If you get in my way so that I don't get what I want, I'm mad at you. And there are times when I don't know who to be mad at. So I'm mad at everybody, including God. And then it keeps no record of wrongs. Wow. See, that is one of the things in my counseling practice when I'm counseling couples who are in conflict. This is one of the number one things that happens. They begin to keep score. And when you, in any relationship, when you find yourself keeping score, that's a signal. You have got to turn the boat around, because keeping score. What's the point of keeping score? Well, I can tell you. The point of keeping score is winning. Because I want to have a better score than you have. And that that leads to the death, the disease and then death of any relationship. And especially in a marriage. Don't keep score. Okay. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. Love is about, really in this regard, love is about the truth. And then here's things that it always does. This is maybe the central nut of this whole thing. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres, and it never fails. My love does fail. I have had plenty of love failures. But there is a love that never fails, and that's God's love. Now, I very often, frankly, fail to notice God's love. And part of the reason that I do that, this is a common reason for all of us, is because it's not what I didn't get what I was looking for. I've told you before, and I'll close by reiterating it again, that my favorite definition of love comes from my friend B.A. Austin years ago. He said, love is doing for the other person what they really need. God is never, ever not doing for us what we really need. But sometimes what we really need is not what we really want. And I can tell you in my experience, then his love goes right over my head. Pursue love. Books have been written. And so one 15-minute and 10-second diatribe is not going to do it. I'll connect next time on So Care with Stevie Boy.